Hi everybody, it is Laura Kinghan, occupational therapist. Come on back. I'm going to show you, I started this office middle of January. Great timing, huh? But I still have this clinical space. Maybe in May, we'll be able to have this space and be able to utilize it. So here's a classroom. This is a really large space. If I can get it in there. So we can utilize this space. It's being utilized while I talk. Okay, let's go. See how well this goes. Here's some credentials for you. If I stand in front of it, maybe it's better. I am a registered and licensed occupational therapist. I have been since 1983. Anyway, welcome to my clinic. I'm going to show you some things in here. I want to do this as an introduction to show you what I can offer, what is available here in this community in Flagstaff, Arizona. This is a clinic space, but I actually am now available to do telehealth as well. So I thought I'd just show you around a little bit. My main background really is in sensory, working with sensory issues. I'm not going to get into those details about sensory processing disorders and autism and all, but I will show you some of the different equipment that I have available. I actually have, it's easier if I set it up. There we go. Hello. So here's a little obstacle course. I love obstacle courses. They're just so good for so many things. I know it's very colorful and busy in here, but one of the things I really like to work on is a lot of gross motor. And one of the best ways to do that is with an obstacle course. So a simple 3-4 step obstacle course. Jump into the hula hoop, then walk on those cones, and then throw rings at, I think I call those cones, they're stepping stones, but the cones, and then on the mat, I have some different mats, different textures. See if I go this way. I even have a little rug that we do some tactile awareness, perception, just waking our bodies up. It's really important when it comes to sensory processing. You can also see that I have, actually I've got a lot of puzzles. Let's see. Come on, let's walk over here. See if I can walk backwards in the obstacle course. So I really like to organize my sessions with a little tactile and then some gross motor. We have these therapy balls. We do lots of things with the therapy balls. Do lots of things with the balls themselves. After some gross motor, then what I really like to do is work on some refinement. We have games and puzzles and academics and all kinds of things. I also have things for people of different ages. There's some baby toys. We do a lot of building blocks. Different kinds of blocks that you can build with. Let's see. Here. But what's also important to me are families and relationships, especially in this time. Hobby that's very important actually to my husband are slot cars and trains. So we have been trying to sponsor some special events, and one of those is Slot Car Saturdays. Now, today's day and age with social distancing, we'll see where we're going to go with that, because it is meant to be done in groups and in families. We actually have set up track in the larger room for people to come. I'd like to still make this available because I think it's so important. But let's see if we can show you here a little more. I don't have it on right now, but here is actually for trains. And then these are for slot cars. Ow! See, coordination is a good thing. But there's buttons that you press, and then we have cars that go around. My husband learned this hobby with his father and has shared it with, there's pictures where we had family at open house, and he was with a little boy, about that big. He was about 4 years old. And so Kevin was able to pass that on to that little 4-year-old. And I think that that's just so very important. So I'd like to make that kind of thing available. My background is with the sensory processing issues with autism and behavior and sensitivities. I've also worked a lot with range of motion. I don't have my table here. My table's at home, my treatment table. But that's also something that I've offered through the years and would like to make that available again for people. Again, with social distancing, I can do telehealth. Just contact me and we could set some things up. And what I really wanted to do with the range of motion was actually work with caregivers and teach caregivers on how to do range of motion so that clients can receive the range of motion and the caregivers can learn how to do range of motion. That I think can be done I think it can be done easily enough through telemed. I can walk people through. I am looking at doing some more videos, and I'm looking at doing a range of motion video so you can see me actually in action. It's kind of hard. My husband would like to be the masked patient, so I'm trying to figure out how to make it so I can do that at home. Anyway, probably a little more information than is necessary, but getting back into the room, some other things back here are swings. Right now in this clinic space, I do not have an apparatus for swings, but I do have swings, so that's definitely something that I would like to offer because swinging is so important. This is a clinic. This is a clinic environment, but my background is actually working, the last 15 years has been working with the Arizona Division of Developmental Disabilities, where I've gone into people's homes. I've gone into group homes, day programs, schools, more people's natural environment. So while we have a clinic setting here, and with the social distancing and with the telehealth, I feel like I can also offer OT services within the home, where instead of coming here to the clinic, I can make suggestions on some things that maybe you can do in your own home. Come on, let me show you a couple things. I set a few things up for you. So, some things like just what you have around the house. If you've got somebody who has issues with fine motor skills, one of the things that we work on in therapy, sorry about this, is working on grasp. This is a cylindrical grasp. A lot of kids I work with have trouble putting lids on, screwing lids, even popping them on. But my suggestion would be use this kind of a thing to store your toys. Here's another example. This is really wide cylindrical grasp that's needed for this, which is different than something like this. I mean, this is a scooper, like in dirt. Or if you were to have a beans and rice bin, let's see if I can show you my rice bin. A container with rice, use something like this. These are things that you can use at home. So, at the end of my sessions, after we do some tactile, and then some gross motor, and then maybe some refinement, we're going to find motor skills, academics, something related to cognition, learning, whatever the specific goals are, then we do quiet time. So much of what we're working on here in OT is self-regulation. So a lot of kids I work with are pretty hyper. We want to calm them back down. So we want to, in gross motor, kind of escalate. That's okay, because we all do that in our day. But then we need to come back down instead of just being off and running. So we do some quiet time. Some of the ways we do that would be with the swings, but there's some other just general movement, but also like things with the balls. There's some things we can do with the balls. I have lots of weighted equipment. We may take a mat. There's some blankets back there. Turn the lights lower, but where people can feel safe. Maybe put on some soft music, 5-10 minutes max. In a group setting, especially, but depending on each person. Occupational therapy is prescribed activities. I do an evaluation. I find out what are the issues with an individual. And then I write a treatment plan. And then we have goal-directed activities to work towards certain kinds of things, like maybe with the self-regulation, calm back down, being able to go out and do something like go to the park or to the grocery store, a lot of kids can get really hyper from that. So how can we work towards improving that function out in a community setting? That might be a goal that we're working on here in OT. And this is one of the great ways we do it. So I think that's kind of, this is 10 minutes. That's kind of an introduction into my clinic space and how I generally go about my therapy. My cell phone number is area code 631-848-8852. I can also be found on Facebook. Let's see. On Facebook, it is at Sensory Laura. You can look there. You can also look at on Facebook at SSIFB. That's a more general page, but then the Sensory Laura is more about the sensory. I also have a page for range of motion. I need to work on that one a little bit more, but I'm available for that. So give me a call, contact me, and wash your hands, be safe, and I guess that's it.